which was the role of the Holy Spirit and the activity in the church. Acts chapter 1, you will receive power when the Holy Spirit's come upon you, and you'll be my witnesses. So, the Holy Spirit is the change agent. In fact, in my first book, Every Man, God's Man, I have a chapter devoted specifically to the Holy Spirit because I believe the Holy Spirit is misunderstood. And John's talking about an empowering aspect of the Holy Spirit that is missing. Anytime there's been any significant spiritual movement in the world, in the church age, it's always been generated, created, empowered, engendered, and made fruitful by the Holy Spirit, by the ministry of the Holy Spirit. And so yes, I do agree with John that there is a fundamental lack of understanding when it comes to the person and work of the Holy Spirit. And a lot of times, number one, it's because he's not being taught on Sundays and in Sunday school class, understanding how his role fits in our lives and how we access and are filled with the Holy Spirit to do the work of God. But I also want to comment on John's question with respect to sort of the deception in the church. Let's just put it on the table. There is such a thing called spiritual warfare. And the enemies of God's man are the world and what the world is selling. And there's this polluted gospel of hedonism, narcissism, and materialism. And then there's, there's the flesh, and that's just the dark side if you're a Star Wars fan. Inside of everyone, the Bible calls the sin nature. And then there's the devil. And a lot of times that's the devil's biggest ruse, is that he doesn't exist. That there's no such thing called spiritual warfare. Men have these conflicts inside. They have nowhere to go. They have no context for understanding it. And then the world provides them with all of these false identities that leads to personal pain and pain in the other's lives. So I think it's a combination of the two. When you combine an understanding of the role of the Holy Spirit in the life of the believer and a true understanding of spiritual warfare, and you train men on how to go to war as a believer, and you equip them, a la Ephesians 6, where you suit up and you go after it. That's where I believe, there's a lot of work to be done in that area.
Good.